That water, and then you sort of lose your bearings of where you're at. It is a crime to go around those barricades. So we in Kentucky, unfortunately, has had some fatalities in this weather event from that type of behavior. So we are asking people to just be patient. If they see a barricade, take it seriously. Don't go around it. We are looking for it with the resource that we have. If we see you, we will probably cite you, barring a really good reason for going around it. So it'd be best just not to have that happen. So far, the sheriff's office has not responded to any major incidents during this weather event. We are ready. We have sufficient manpower out and about. Our patrol deputies are out keeping on things. The water is also an obstacle for us, so we're also having to deal with how to get around in an emergency. But so far, it's been okay. Our concern right now, like everyone up behind me, is with Stanley. Yes, other parts of the county are underwater and the water's moving around. It's rising in some areas, falling in others. But with regard to Stanley, we're just kind of waiting to see what happens. We do have a plan with Chief Smith and the fire department. He's going to discuss that. If deputies were to need to access any of the areas that are flooded, we will be able to do that. Tomorrow, we have access to a helicopter that's going to be flying around the county. We'll be doing a couple of air patrols to check on certain areas. We'll have a deputy in the helicopter checking on things, just looking to make sure they'll be out here in Stanley and other places. So that's just another way for us to, because we can't patrol necessarily by vehicle, and even for areas that aren't necessarily underwater, but the road to that area is, it gives us a way to get out there and check on that. So we'll be doing that for the next few days, and keep an eye on things. I'll get back in line. If anybody has questions for me, I'll jump back out. I'll be followed by Jeremy Smith.
My name is Jeremy Smith. I'm the chief of Daviess County. Some of the things we've been prepping for here, as Sheriff Young said, is, if calls begin to pick up, if the road does, go underwater, which we do expect. Don't know how much, but we do expect that to happen over the next few hours. In the evening, we're going to have boats that we can put in place out here. We've got teams ready to respond out here to assist the sheriff's department as well as any needs that any more staff. So as of now, we haven't been overwhelmed in any way. We've been able to handle all the calls so far. Any questions or anything regarding?
Do we have a rough estimate of what time? I think you said into the afternoon.
We do not. So when they talk about the slow fall of the river, so what we're seeing is that as it's reaching its crest here in Owensboro, the Ohio has slowed down tremendously. So as the green is still rising, it's crossing over here and going into that area. But it is so hard to predict because this is where those two rivers will meet. So I don't think there's a solid number. I would encourage that anyone who is not a local here, and you don't need to be back here, don't come back here. I wouldn't risk that, because we do not know at what time or what will happen.
Have a lot of people in Stanley evacuated their homes?
We have not. If they have, they did utilize us if they decide to leave. As Andy spoke earlier, with the shelter being open, we would encourage you to get out before dark. It does make it more complicated for us, especially as storms roll in throughout the night. It makes it complicated for us to get to it. So if you do feel the need that you need to get out, by all means, please do so. But we're here. We do have, like I say, we do have capabilities with 2 boats, and we also have the city fire as well. That can respond out with us as well if need be, if it becomes, but it is a slow rise. It is going to creep up slowly, we do feel, but, with the river, anything can change.
I know Stanley is our focus right now today, but as we look at the water rising over the next 2 or 3 days, are there other communities in Daviess County that potentially are going to be facing the same thing Stanley is facing?
We're having some impacts, like out in Kirksville, Delaware. They are heavily, they've got some roads that have a few neighbors trapped. It's almost like a little island out there right now around that area. We have some water backing up out on the east end along the Ella Creek, which is affected by the Ohio. It's shut down a few facilities out there. We don't really have anybody, there may be a few that it would be difficult to get out, but they've either prepped for it or, it's not near as bad as what Stanley is facing right now.
Are there any particular neighborhoods or areas of Stanley where you're advising people to be taking precautions or maybe looking at evacuating ahead of this?
So I have Luke Cecil here as well. He lives here in Stanley. He is with Stanley Fire Department and Owensboro Fire Department as well. I could let him kind of speak towards the community of any concerned areas.
So the water up to this point has actually covered all of the Stanley community. The only thing left outside of a water is directly on Highway 60. Like Chief said, we're going to see that be taken tonight. Highway 60 will have water over it at some point over the next 12 to 24 hours. At that point, the entire community of Stanley will be trapped, essentially. But, you know, they have the choice to get out right now. The water's not going to come up fast, and it's not going to be real deep. So where they are setting currently is close to where they are going to see at the crest point on Saturday. So everybody out here has lived through floods. They know where to be. They know what to do. We should have minimal issues with people needing to evacuate late in the game.
Luke, did you want to talk about Kimberly Clark?
Yeah, so Kimberly Clark is a big plant out here. They decided to close down operations this morning, so they have evacuated their employees, let them go home and shut down the plant. They still have people that will stay with the plant. We're in constant communication with them to make sure that that everything is safe with the plant and that they don't have any issues while they are shut down over the next few days over the weekend. Any questions?
Could you go over shelter information again, please?
I'm going to defer that over to Andy, and then yeah. Andy, do you want to go over that shelter?
Yeah, I'm trying to get that email back. So we have decided, based on the volume of calls that we've gotten for some residents, mostly in the mobile home parks right now, over by the casino area on the east side. But that church is going to be Owensboro Christian Church. That is located at 2818 New Hartford Road in Owensboro. And anybody utilizing that, we use entrance A. That is the gym side on the right as you face the facility. Cots and meals will be provided. We do provide linens. However, they are wool blankets, and not everybody's real happy about having to sleep under a wool blanket. So we would recommend that you bring your own linens if you can, and then any prescription medications that you may have, bring enough for several days in case you do have to stay in the shelter for a lengthy time. And then if you have children, we definitely recommend bringing something that will keep them entertained and engaged. And we always get the question, are pets able to be sheltered there? And that's not our call, that's the church's call, but they are not at this time. Pets are not welcome.
I know a number of Stanley residents were affected by the flooding already earlier this year. Do you have any estimate at this point right now how many homes have had water enter them so far?
I wouldn't move homes have been impacted by water this year.
In Stanley, we don't have a true number. Most everybody knows if water's going to get in their house. And this event will actually, this is a 100-year flood for the Stanley area. There'll be water inside houses that have never been inside during this event. But the last event that was in February, right? That was not an unusual flood for this area. Everybody was prepared for it. We didn't get a record of any houses that had a lot of water inside of them, basements and things like that, but nothing reportable necessarily. This event's going to be a little different. We're going to see the highest water most of the homes in this community have seen out here for over the next probably Saturday will be a good tell on that. So.
Yeah, and let me add, so we met this morning in the Emergency Operations Center, all of us, and then several other of our Emergency Operations Center support functions, such as hospitals, agencies from the city, utilities such as that. And one thing I pushed out to them is, right now we're in the response phase. We will navigate to the recovery phase, but that's going to be several days from now. So we will be doing damage assessments once those rivers start coming down and it starts opening up some of these areas. And we'll be doing two different types of damage assessments. One will be for individual assistance, which is referred to as IA by FEMA. So we'll be doing those for the communities and the residents, and then we'll also, such as our public works, and maybe some of our departments might be doing the public infrastructure side, where our parks, our roads, and our culverts may have washed out and been damaged. And all that is to collect all that information, push it to state, see if we meet certain thresholds, and then the state will, if so, the state will send a team in to do what's called a joint PDA, a joint preliminary damage assessment. And I'll bring all the agencies together, and we'll push all the information of the damages, whether it's IA or PA, through them, and that's how the reimbursement process works.
Denitra, do you want to? It's gonna rain here on us here momentarily, so we'll. Yeah.
My name is Denitra Henderson. I am the Chief District Engineer for the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. Our office is out of Madisonville. We cover. Yes, it is DENEATRA Henderson, just like Henderson. So we cover 11 counties in District 2, and all 11 of those counties have been impacted by flooding since April 2nd. So we started out with significant flash flooding in Christian and Caldwell County at the beginning of the event. And then that water and that backwater is now moving across our district. And so we've been working heavily with Daviess County, Henderson County today, also watching US 60 in Hancock County. But we do expect that it will go over US 60 in an additional place here overnight. So we have been working to try to increase the elevation of the roadway as much as possible as we can on short notice. The lowest section is now 4 inches higher, and so we're trying to get that complete. It won't fix everything, but it is going to help keep it open just a little bit longer. So the policy for closing that is we will have staff on site to monitor that, and when it becomes unsafe to pass, then we will be closing the road. We will be closing the road and turning people away. You've seen how much traffic has went by while we've been doing these interviews and the speed of that traffic. So we will be putting plenty of advance notice in place, and also we'll have KYTC personnel at each end of the barricades so that we can try to keep as many people from crossing that barricade as possible. We are not law enforcement, so we'll be requesting assistance from the sheriff as needed if we have people that do decide to cross and could potentially become stuck and then need resources from some of the other entities. We would like to request that people do not alter our barricades. So when someone moves a barricade, especially at night, and then they go through the water, or they turn back around and come back home, and then they don't put it back, we may have somebody not realize that there's water there, and then our barricade is not protecting the water over the road. So we do have people that will be patrolling overnight and throughout the day to be sure those barricades are back in place, but we do ask that you not move them because it is a critical safety issue. The more heavily traveled routes like US 60 behind us, we will have staff at 24/7 to make sure that our barricades remain in place. We just want to thank everyone who's worked this event, and I'll take any questions if you have any.
Do you have any idea what time that closure to US 60 is going to become necessary?
So as of the time of this press conference at 3 p.m., it's already up to the edge of the roadway at the additional 4 inches. So it will be sometime tonight. Now, there's so many people that need to use this roadway, and especially we know when we close US 60, it will trap several homes and residences. So we will be monitoring it, and so we won't preemptively close it until we have